In the distance, Jesus is seated on a hilltop, preaching to a large crowd. People are scattered across the hillside, listening intently. Among them are Philomena and the carpenter, sitting together. As the sermon ended, the people began to rest, looking tired and hungry. Philomena asked, "How are we going to make it back home?" The carpenter replied, "There's no food here in the wilderness. Let's rest for a while before we start walking." Philomena's eyes drifted toward Jesus, and she pointed. "Father, look over there." The carpenter followed her gaze and saw Jesus filling baskets with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, miraculously multiplying the food. The carpenter stood up, filled with awe. "The Lord has provided for us," he said. They went to get bread and fish from the baskets. After collecting their meal, they found a quiet spot on a distant rock to eat. As they ate in the distance, she notices Barabbas buying bread and fish. Happy to see Barabbas, Philomena points to the carpenter and says, "Father, look, it's Barabbas." The carpenter turns and shouts, "Barabbas." Barabbas notices them, walks over, and takes a seat nearby. The carpenter asks, "So, have you become a follower of Jesus?" Barabbas replies, "No, I'm not a follower. I just wanted to see what he's saying and why so many people are gathering around him." The carpenter is curious and asks, "And what do you think about him?" Barabbas replies thoughtfully, "He's different. Even though he's a Jew, he doesn't care about race or status. He says everyone is a child of God. He talks about sharing. Those who have should give to those who don't. And he tells people not to sin." He pauses, thinking, and says, in a way, he's a revolutionary. The carpenter raises an eyebrow. "A revolutionary?" Barabbas nods in a way, yes. But his revolution isn't through violence. It's peaceful. He's trying to change people's hearts, teaching them to live and help each other, without caste or discrimination. The carpenter nods thoughtfully. Then how did he feed all those people today with just 5 loaves and 2 fish? Barabbas falls silent for a moment, then says softly, "He was a God-sent revolutionary." The carpenter turned to Barabbas and said, "Do you know something? I've known Jesus since he was a child. Back in Nazareth, his father, Joseph, and I worked together as carpenters. Joseph was a close friend of mine. I've seen Jesus many times at their house. I still remember something Joseph said that day. He told me, 'My son Jesus is the Son of God. God spoke to me in a dream. Even his birth happened by God's plan. When he was born, the priests bowed to him and offered gold and pearls. I didn't believe Joseph back then, but now I do.'" Pauses, his voice firm. "Jesus is the Son of God." Barabbas laughed sarcastically. "Oh really? Then tell your Son of God to give us land." Philomena, furious, snapped, "To a believer, even a stone is God. To an unbeliever, even God is just a stone." The carpenter calmly asked, "Why are you angry? Aren't both supposed to live happily ever after?" He stood up. "I'll check if there's any water," he said, and walked off. Barabbas and Philomena continued their conversation. Religious leaders gather in a room inside a Jerusalem temple. Caiaphas, furious, yells at someone, "We're planning to get rid of Jesus, and yet you let him preach here while I was gone. Who allowed it?" He points accusingly at an elderly priest. The old priest defends himself, saying he doesn't preach anything wrong. He teaches people how to live better lives. Caiaphas snaps back angrily, "Then what are we doing? Teaching them how to die? A black sheep has entered our fold, and if we let Jesus continue, he'll ruin everything." And he said, "Leave this meeting. From now on, don't attend without my permission." The old priest bows his head and quietly leaves the room. 2 soldiers are standing guard. An old man steps out to take a walk in the hall. From the opposite side, Barabbas approaches. He reaches the door, passing the old man, but the soldiers stop him. "You're not allowed in," one of the soldiers says. Barabbas replies, "I need to speak with the high priest." One soldier responds, "Let me ask for permission." He steps inside and informs Caiaphas, "Barabbas is here to see you." Irritated, Caiaphas says, "As if we don't already have enough problems." And now he's here asking for a burial place. With a frustrated wave, he added, "Fine, let him in." The soldier returned to the door and gestured to Barabbas. "You can go in now." Entering the room, Barabbas looked at Caiaphas and said, "Greetings to the chief priest." Caiaphas responded, "All right, tell me the purpose of your visit." Barabbas replied, "Chief priests, we request a place to bury our people with dignity when they pass away. That is our request." Without hesitation, Caiaphas responded, "This request has been made for years, and it was rejected immediately." Barabbas calmly responded, "I know, that's why I'm here to ask again." "It'll be rejected again," Caiaphas said with a mocking tone. Barabbas, now visibly angry, responded, "Do you think what you're doing is right? While we're alive, you ignore us and refuse even a drop of water. And in death, you let dogs and jackals feast on our bodies." One priest looked at Barabbas and replied, "Barabbas, every caste has its traditions. They can never be changed." Barabbas snapped back angrily, "So do dogs and jackals eat our bodies then?" Caiaphas shot back, "This has been going on for generations." Barabbas replied, "I'm telling you to change that custom." Caiaphas, with a mocking smile, replied, "We can't change old traditions, Barabbas." The others in the room laughed. An angry Barabbas glares at them and asks, "Is this your final decision?" "This is our decision," Caiaphas replies. "Then you will face a great struggle. Apart from the Jew, I will gather the Gentiles. We will shake this government," Barabbas says, his voice full of fury. Caiaphas looks at him. "Are you threatening us?" "No, I'm telling you the truth," Barabbas responds. Caiaphas said, "Barabbas, I know you have come here after gathering your caste people for riot. Your activities are being monitored by our spy force." Barabbas says, "I know that, but I'm not fighting against the government. I'm just fighting for a place to bury us." Caiaphas warns, "Barabbas, your fight will fail. Here's the last thing I'll say. Give up or you won't live to fight." "What are you threatening me with?" Barabbas asks. "I'm not threatening you. I'm just speaking the truth," Caiaphas replies. Barabbas responds fiercely, "No government has ever lasted by ruling unjustly, and I won't stop until this one falls. Remember that." He storms out of the assembly